Selamat pagi and welcome back to my channel. So, this time around kita akan duduk dan membuat perbincangan dan kupasan mengenai some of the looks that Haida can figure out of from my IG and what people have shared with me from the ABPBH punya event semalam. I'm just going to shorten it to ABP, senang ya. ABP ni adalah event yang Haida rasa kalau nak compare dengan format awards show to the US, contohnya lah, the format is a bit like People's Choice Awards. And that means that this is an award show berdasarkan pilihan orang ramai to vote their favourite celebrity menang certain awards like they like the best drama actress ke, the best comedic actress ke and all sort of thing. Because of the vibe and format of this event, the whole concept of dressing bagi Haida, ini adalah pendapat Haida saja, is that it should be a bit more fun. It's cocktail, it's formal but not too formal because it is after all an event yang berdasarkan undian orang ramai and it's not as prestigious as serious and prestigious events contohnya macam Festival Film Malaysia. With that being said, okay, this year Haida dapat tahu, and I might be wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong, that the tema has something to do with black tie and accessories. I think this concept of dressing akan lebih bertemakan to evening wear, tuxedos and all that stuff lah. But of course ada agency for you to really have fun with the styling. Ada nampak lah ada a few celebrities yang memang just really santai je the way that they approach their dressing to this event. Ada yang go all out, ada yang go very edgy and gila lah, like crazy with how they put the looks out on the catwalk pula, on the photo wall and also in the event. There's a few things that I wanted to highlight. I tak boleh nak focus on all the celebrities. This is literally 7 jam selepas event tu, and berdasarkan apa yang Haida dapat from input daripada orang yang hantar DM kepada Haida ataupun after countless of hours of scrolling trying to find good pictures, kenapalah susah sangat nak dapat proper photo wall pictures, mungkin tak release lagi. So Haida just nak add on to I punya kupasan about what I think about these looks and how we can improve it in the future. So sebelum kita start, ada a few things yang Haida nak highlightkan lah, especially about when Haida buat kupasan ni. Jadinya, based on first impression, because at the end of the day, Haida enunciate. All of the looks yang kita nampak daripada these events actually is the result lah. Jadi apa yang kita boleh nampak kat situ akan dijadikan perbualan atau kupasan punya content for orang ramai. And also based on apa-apa informasi yang anda dapat kat situ, dan juga merangkumi faktor-faktor yang tertentu that actually affect how these celebrities ended up dressing as. This is coming from a stylist, okay? Haida nak berhusnuzan juga because Haida tahu the stresses that some of these stylists had to go through untuk dresskan these celebrities. Not just stylists, juga the rest of the glam team, the hair, makeup, maybe the assistants ke apa ke semua. So there are a few factors yang Haida rasa memang affect, diorang punya hasil kerja ni. First things first is of course budget. Haida tahu banyak artis kat Malaysia ni, I don't know if they're being paid enough ataupun diorang kedekut ke apa ke. I'm sorry, I'm just being direct because I've experienced this myself. They are not willing to fork out a budget for them to actually look good. Because remember, if you want something good, you have to pay more. You give monkey peanuts. You give peanuts, you get monkeys. So budgeting is such an important thing. I've been given budget daripada semurah 300 dan 500 ringgit for an event as big as ABP ataupun FFM ni, just to dress them. So I had situasi dulu masa Haida kerja as a stylist di mana these artists or celebrities come to me and cakap, I'm so sorry, we have this event that we decided to go and it's like in 3-4 days time, boleh tak you tolong carikan baju. And I know some stylists diberikan all this tekanan to go and find and do this stuff, and sometimes setengah makeup artist atau hair artist yang terpaksa tolak ke appointment diorang because at the end of the day some of these people are friends, so diorang nak membuat yang terbaik tetapi with strict timelines. Maksudnya workmanship pun, baju pun tak bagus, and mungkin the quality of baju yang dipilih kepada stylist juga akan affect how you look like on the end of the day. And sometimes celebrities pun memang tak ada budget to work on that. So there are a lot of factors in that sense. Also time constraint, as I mentioned to you guys. Can you imagine if you hire a designer ataupun a sponsor to dress you and you diberi masa 5 hari atau 4 hari to do this dress? Can you bayangkan what type of output yang you akan dapat daripada this kind of work. So yes, it does reflect on your clothes. Haida ada nampak a few celebrities yang pakai baju yang nampak menggunakan fabric yang murah. Fabric murah tak apa. There's ways for you to go around it. But the workmanship, even daripada jauh pun Haida boleh nampak. And that unfortunately, reflects on you as a celebrity. Like it's just tak best. It tak refine, tak kemas, and tak reflect the prestiginess of the event that you're attending. Based on all of this yang Haida dah present, Haida akan start with a few yang Haida boleh ingat dekat kepala Haida. And just kind of start straight away. And the first one yang Haida betul-betul nak, I guess, comment on is Ukasha Senrose. Ukasha here is being styled by Abu, one of the notable stylists, and Haida rasa baju ni is daripada dia punya catwalk punya collection masa Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week dulu. Now I love this because this is very fun, very black tie even, and dia macam relaxkan sikit kepada focus to the hair and makeup, because this paillette situation of a dress on this mesh is really nice. Haida rasa it matches the vibe of Ukasha and also the ABP punya style. So I think this is a very well styled outfit, and I will commend her on this. People not comment if it reminds them of something. Honestly, if I were to say anything, it probably reminds me of one of the looks yang I saw from Tengu, but again, it's not a direct copy. It's just kebetulan dia ada dekat situ. But the main point here is that she looks good in it, and I think that this is just justified punya styling look. So well done to the team. Next one we have Uyaina. Look really nice in this. I believe this is by Kuntum, and this is like a cropped blazer set dengan this dress and this cascading like pearl type of detail yang ada nampak dekat some of the parts of her look. And I quite like this actually, because Haida ada this principle about tudung styling, because if you're a hijabi, I don't think that you should put on too much to appear a bit more refined ataupun sophisticated. So Uyaina kat sini dengan dengan makeup dia is really nice. I like that it's fresh. I believe this is styled by Tim, and this is a great outfit yang Haida rasa beralaskan the tema yang diberi. It's black tie with accessories, but at the same time, it still has that fun punya factor to it. I see that diorang stylekan dia with these two shoes, like mismatched punya heels, which I think is fine. Tapi ada rasa sebab dia punya look makeup tu dah quite soft, and then baju tu is actually quite formal juga, walaupun ada that fun factor. It's like mostly monotonous kan. So I get that sometimes the niat is to make it be a bit more macam ada that pop of colour, tetapi it feels a bit distracting sedikit, tak banyak. It's not a major issue, but I wish that it could be changed to something else, maybe a silver heel ke, or just plain red pattern heels or something like that, to make sure that dia tak terlalu busy kat situ. Winning looks that I think worthy to be highlighted here juga is on Anna Jobling punya look. So her styling team sekarang ni has been really great with putting her in looks yang betul-betul melambangkan her identity as an actress to be reckoned with lah. So the first look is styled on the red carpet. It was by Abu. I believe this is also a creation of his in this cobalt blue punya I guess like dress. I like it. I like the color cobalt blue. I'm a bit of a sucker of that sekarang. I don't know why. Dia punya half ponytail punya vibe makes it fun. Dia tak, selalunya ada tengok orang suka buat the sleek punya hair look, which is fine. But at least yang ni with the half ponytail and waves, it's actually really refreshing. And it brings up the youthful vibe. Anna is so young, and she looks so young in this, in a very mature way, if that makes any sense. The next one that I love that she won an award in, I think dia menang Anugerah Bintang Drama Popular or something. Again, any correction I akan letak kat sini lah. And she looked amazing in this Teh Firdaus dress. Teh Firdaus is fast becoming one of those designer local yang banyak high-end clients and elite clients suka pakai. And obviously for all the good reasons yang sepatutnya dikatakan, there's a reason for that, because this look, or most people might say, looked bridal on her, but I love the styling. It's very refined, very delicate on her. She has all of these delicate features of her yang tak patut diberikan anything yang terlalu edgy to naikkan lagi seri dia. And this is a beautifully constructed dress that highlights all the right angles. It's not too sexy. It's not too, I guess, bosan. So I really like this look. I'm going to credit the styling team kat sini juga because as I'm doing this, I wanted to highlight and focus more on the outlook itself. So this is a really good job by stylist Abidin Khairul, who is currently the editor of EH Magazine juga. So it makes sense. Anyone with an editorial eye, selalunya bila dia styling, really comes out great in the results. So another worthy mention is V. I know him as V, but I guess banyak orang mungkin tahu dia as Delicious Zaz. So he is a stylist with an editorial in the background. Jadi you can nampak the precision of styling onto something as complex as this. So this look daripada Putri Sarah Liana, I like it. It's by One and Mary. It's tweed, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Daripada jauh, it looks like tweed. And this is fun. Haida tak suka sangat styling tudung yang berkepuk-kepuk sangat. But I kind of like this on her. It doesn't weigh her down. Because usually, styling hijabis is such a difficult thing for me. I memang tak suka. It's not my strong suit, styling hijabis. Unless if they have a different approach to wearing hijab. And I think she looked great in this beautiful red punya tone. And the gloves. It's straight to the point. And I think they did, V did a good job with this styling too. Now moving on to one of the looks yang Haida rasa banyak ditonjolkan on my IG. It's a powerhouse performance between Ernie Zakri as well as Marsha Milan. So I'm going to start with Ernie Zakri first. So Ernie is wearing some design by Amaze. So this is being styled by Abidin Khairul. Kalau tak silap Haida, sorry. This is based on this IG story yang Haida dapat. Again, let's talk about hijabi punya style. Okay, so Ernie, I think she's not exactly the most slender person, or maybe this baju doesn't make her appear as slender formed punya person. Baju ni sangat sarat untuk dia, Haida rasa. Kalau just the inside bit yang ada this sequence sahaja punya detail, if it's just being focused on that in some way and minimize that drop waist punya draping kat bawah tu, I think it will be better. The way that the dress drapes kat bawah tu, it's like dragging her down a lot. It makes her look heavier than she really is. And I tak tahu lah if she has big hips apa semua, but again, all the attention is terbawa dekat situ. If they want to play with that kain punya detail kat bawah tu, perhaps it could be done as like a dropped cape. Is that drop jacket, or stole lah, macam like a big kind of like fluffed up bridal satin punya stole ke. Perhaps that might work well because the symmetry of the look macam tak best sangat. Compare it to Marsha. So Marsha, okay, maybe perhaps it's unfair for me to put this kind of comparison between Marsha, who is tall, and tall and lanky, and compare it to Ernie. I don't think Ernie is big size anyway. It's just that baju tu membuatkan dia nampak besar. But with Marsha, despite having this sculptured dress with all of this like bunga punya detail on the side, still tak nampak besar on her, because the way that the dress being made, I believe this is by Faisal Ziaf of Rizalman Couture, Rizalman punya line, and it looks amazing on her. Marsha rarely misses as a formidable punya artist, yang a serious punya artist. Dia senang dapat sponsorship daripada some of these big designers, and also I think she can afford and she wants to buy and to make sure that she has the right team with her. I believe she is being styled by Tim, which is her long-time stylist collaborator, and she looks really great in this. Haida rasa this brings out that pop, that diva punya, I guess, essence that Marsha clearly has. I had this conversation with someone and a group of people on my DM because someone kept saying that dress punya design remind them of something. And believe me, we tried looking for it online. Kita orang pergi Google Lens it lah. Kita orang pergi screenshot it and try to find if there's similar styles to it. I tak boleh, but there's a folder in my head saying that I've seen this kind of style somewhere, but that doesn't mean that it's a copy. It's a beautiful inspired reference. Maybe it's not even inspired, maybe it's all in my head, wallahu alam. But either way, I love this. This is such a beautiful look on Marsha, and of course it's by Marsha. So in the performance, I only kept looking at Marsha because of how this baju and how it looked on her. Memang on, very cantik. Sejujurnya, sebagai seorang yang nak mengupas people's looks, I cannot not comment on my stylist friends punya look juga, and one of them is Zulvani. Zulvani is one of the amazing stylists out there yang I think is really one of the top ones in her game. And we actually had this conversation on our DM, so she already knows what I'm about to say. But anyway, love you. Love you for allowing me to do this. So let's talk about her work. So this is, I think dia pegang Stacey and Wana Ali on the night of the event. And both of them are being dressed by a up-and-coming designer, new one, called Sodikin Shaz. So let's start one by one. Okay, so I'm going to start with Stacey and then Wana, and then I'm going to talk about Sodikin, because there's a few of his works that actually entered the event punya space malam that I think we need to kind of highlight. So first off, Stacey Anam. So when you think of Stacey, she has this rock and roll vibe about her that is like, that's iconic to her lah. I think I love her persona as a rock and roll, like pop rock punya artist. She can pull it off, powerhouse, memang best. And her look is nice. I love that she actually pakai sesuatu yang kena dengan tema. It is black tie, it's laden with accessories. Dalam masa yang sama juga, dia fun, dia tak terlalu serious. It's, this blazer and like pants, I think, and this corset with like all of these, layered punya crystal detail. It's nice. However, if you are a fan of fashion, you might notice that this actually reminds me, or probably you guys, two things. This was from Alexander McQueen's Spring Summer 22, and there's this like baju that he's very well known of, that Sarah Burton created, that's famous lah, which is like these crystallized detail on this like all black blazer and this like mesh punya boot that has all of these crystallized details, like trompe l'oeil punya details on the baju, and that was popularized first. And then in the pop culture punya sphere, the couture punya sphere, you have Robert Woon. So there are heavy influences of this Robert Woon aesthetic going on here, as well as on Wana's punya look. I want to first highlight that tak ada orang boleh actually claim that this raindrop punya style ke, corset punya style ke, jacket punya style ke, belonging to one designer, unless if they make it iconic of their own. So Haida punya point kat sini is that as an up and coming designer, Haida banyak realise, not just up and coming designers, some more veteran punya designers, for them to kind of feel that this is what gets accepted in the creative world, which is celebrated in the creative world, is by doing something that pop culture, whatever that pop culture is celebrating, atau it's becoming trending in the runways atau red carpets of, in Europe ke or mana-mana, they try to translate it back into their own design. Masalahnya, as I mentioned in the previous video, the identity kat situ hilang. So I am not going to bash Sodikin, because he's really a talented designer. I actually love his debut collection that he did at Penang Fashion Week. There are lots of potential for this guy, but he's new. He needs to find his identity, and unfortunately, I can only see that Robert Woon aesthetic in that design, because he currently popularized that kind of like aesthetic in recent times, to have all of this like raindrop, teardrops or whatever punya crystal punya detail that you've seen on the catwalks. And I'm not saying that he's copying sengaja sahaja, but as someone mentioned to me, because in showbiz, those kind of aesthetic, and that's the only limited kind of aesthetic yang ada, yang stylist hanya mampu ada, ataupun makeup artist ke celebrity atau klien yang mampu ada sebagai diorang punya pilihan. So they would have to use that. And it's great that most of these young designers are being given the opportunity to dress these artists, but I do hope that they are given time, budget, and also potensi to really explore diorang punya, I guess, identity in creation. So this look, I actually like the styling. I love the makeup. It's straight to the point. It's not too dramatic. It's just one graphic liner on Stacey and then on Wana. In terms of look execution, cantik. In terms of originality, it's just okay. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just that if I have to say it from an aesthetic point of view, it's been done. With this other look, which is defam punya look, Now, this is a touchy subject for me too, because I'm putting myself out there. I styled defam a couple of times before, and yes, there are times I'm not happy with their look, berdasarkan the time that I have, the selections that I have, and maybe I didn't work hard enough to get the right kind of sample collection for them. And you have to know the politics in the KL fashion scene is something. We're gonna get to that in another video. So with DFAM, I think DFAM needs to understand that they are becoming mature artists. They are becoming a different DFAM. No longer the DFAM yang kita kenal 10 years ago. So I think ever since they changed management or something there's a lot of confusion with how they approach themselves styling wise. When they come out yesterday in this Sodikin punya look, and from what I've heard, this was really last minute job, so I tak boleh nak put it all on Sodikin, but kesian lah dia because it's his creation on national television. And when I saw this on stage, I was appalled. I think that it's like they should not come out like that. It's the kain that they use, it's the layers that are just too complex, it's so overpowering. And I think the whole idea of sendondon in a girl group is fine. I mean, I do it too. I think it's great to play with monotonous colors and everything, but I think maybe it's down to the material being used, because even from afar, even daripada video yang Haida nampak pun, it does look like it's being cheapened. The hasil kerja tangan tu Haida nampak, even when they do like close-up shots of makeup kan, Haida boleh nampak baju tu, the kain yang guna tu. It's really, really sad, because I think as DFAM, if they want to mature themselves in the audience, they need to also dress that part. It has to be refined, it has to be a bit more enriched, and they can still maintain that pop hop or kind of like persona of theirs, because that's their strong suit. Tetapi it has to reflect in fashion. They can no longer do anything that is too edgy, or at least edgy by that kind of like concept. So this look is being styled by their frequent styling collaborator Brian, and I'm gonna sound so horrible by saying this because I styled them too. I'm not saying that I punya styling were bagus sangat ya. I have things I've done, and sometimes I do know it's all down to budgetary restraint. I don't 100% blame the stylist. I don't blame Sodikin. I think if I were to say anything, the management really needs to check themselves out to understand that they need to respect the time for the designer and also listen to what the talent wants for once. I'm sure that I don't think any of the DFAM girls want to be wearing those kind of things. So it's such a shame, but I think this is a good lesson to be learned for Sodikin to improve his craft and set his own boundaries on, and also just to Brian to like seriously put your feet down, set your boundary, and make a point to actually say, no, you have to, respect my time, respect the amount or budget that I put into, so I can give you the best look that you deserve. So next look kita akan pergi kepada Rina Diana. I think she's been styled by Tim. So one of them is this teal punya look by Seth and Luna, and then the other one is by Juan and Mary, the one yang macam champagne gold tu. Truth be told, I'm not a fan of both of those looks. I like the color in her, it's great. Makeup and hair looks really nice, but this baju with all of this like I guess, I don't know what you call it, I'm not a designer, but the details that you see here really macam memberatkan dia lagi. It makes her look so sarat with things, and I think if it's on a taller person, it looks great on, but on this look on Rina, tak tahu lah, maybe I tak nampak real life ke. Again, I'm only basing this on impression I dah nampak on social media and how she moves and present in it. There's potential in it, but I think that if some of those details are being lessened, it would truly naikkan seri dia. And I don't really like the choice of material sangat. Again, my preference. The next one is Seth and Luna. So Seth and Luna has this like payet thing, and of course I think it's a trend for a lot of Malaysians untuk pakaikan this kain draping thing, drop waist punya thing that became so famous. Actually, it's quite famous in Dubai here. Kalau korang pergi Dubai Fashion Week, penuh dengan designers and showcase that kind of silhouette kat sini. it's again, it's just so many things on her. I have a feeling that she's not really a tall person, or maybe I'm wrong, but from what I can see on her IG, she looks very petite, she looks very small, and then when she put on all of these things on her, I dah tak nampak Rina, I just nampak the baju, and I'm not sure if that's necessarily a good thing. I've also forget to mention that when you dress for a live TV, live television, there are some certain guidelines untuk korang pakai baju to make sure that baju tu macam tak kacau kamera ke, tak kacau lighting ke, apa ke semua. So this baju, I saw this one picture when it was being taken, and this is by TV3 kan. I don't remember. I think they're quite strict with diorang punya guidelines on dressing. And you could see all of these like reflection punya detail of the paillettes too on her face. And it looks funny and sayang because she's beautiful girl, and I'm not saying the dress tak lawa. It's just that I think the design of the dress is a little bit too hectic and overpowering. Some people think that they need to have that kind of approach on national television so that they can shine, and literally she is shining through that TV screen. This is why when I remember when working with Astro, I think this kind of baju, if I'm not mistaken, mungkin tak akan lepas piawaian diorang untuk be worn on national on TV lah, because benda macam ni akan kacau the lighting as you've seen here. So unfortunately, I'm not really a fan of Rina's look here. It's not a bad dress. It's just probably the form on her, or maybe it's, I don't know. It's just something is just not right here. So unfortunately, not one of my favorites. Okay, korang, I promise na habis dah, okay? And this is only a few. I know banyak gila I tak cover. I don't think I'm going to cover a lot of the men's because tak cukup gambar yang terang for me to make any kind of like kupasan. So next one, I want to go to Adira in Has Hisham. I like this look actually. This beautiful burgundy punya baju on her. I think that sorry, my cat bersin. I think that this is such a good look for her. It's very modest and dia tak macam kepuk sangat walaupun it does look heavy on her. I think the proportion of this baju and dress on her memang sangat sesuai, and I think this is a good look for me. Next one would be pemenang Anugerah Bintang Popular herself, which is Aina Abdul. Because as I mentioned, my preference, I prefer hijabis that if they want to make a statement, it has to kena dengan diorang punya character or what they kind of do, the type of genre that they do to make sure that that kind of like fashion persona shines through. So I've always been very teetering on this like bridge lah when it comes to Aina punya style. But I love Aina punya style. When she received the award, she's been dressed in amaze, and dia macam dalam persalinan like a modernized contemporary cabaro. I think so. It looks like a cabaro to me with a corset outside, and this is a fresh look for me to see of her. Some people ada komen yang I rasa macam seriously, like they say that she looks like she's from a wedding ke apa ke semua, but honestly this is like the best look I think that suits her. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't go for this kind of like concept of apa ni Nusantara modernized sahaja. She can definitely wear all the edgier pieces that she's been wearing, but sometimes kebanyakan styling on that feels forced, feels like aku kena make a statement in this, because for me Aina is a powerhouse singer. Her personality as a singer is so strong, dia tak perlukan fashion untuk naikkan lagi her martabat as a serious artist. I might be wrong, because obviously her fan base, apa ni, would say differently about her sense of style, and I don't think they even care about if she's a balada, singer pop balada punya singer ke apa semua, and that she's wearing all of these like Lady Gaga-esque punya type of looks. I just don't think that she, and this is my personal opinion yang setulus-tulusnya, I just don't think that she can actually carry that. It feels like she's been costumized in these pieces. So when she's in that Amaze look, I like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can finally see her. I can see her in as this, serious artist, rather than someone yang just take the attention away dengan baju-baju dia yang terlalu avant-garde. So kudos and congratulations for winning the award. I mean, so deserving, well deserving. Yeah. Ooh, okay. So now down to a few. So usually during award shows, I see a trend in Malaysia, and most of them, there usually is like a bevy of ladies wearing mostly Rizman Rizaini punya stuff. And that makes sense because RR is one of those brands yang memang sangat highly identifiable in the Malay market. And obviously now, because diorang dah global, diorang dah capai pencapaian yang sangat hebat, being able to do things from an international standpoint. I actually think that they might have a different kind of approach when dressing Malay celebrities as compared to dressing people for certain events yang a bit away from the mass media market. So Haida akan base it from this kind of approach, I think. I might be wrong, but Haida rasa ni lah, because RR punya branding is actually punya what do you call designs, from what I've seen in Dubai Fashion Week and everything, is amazing. I love that their pieces have actually evolved to sound and look more like RR punya brand. Unfortunately, with some of the pieces I've seen being worn on the red carpet during ABP, Haida tak berapa berkenan sangat. But I'm going to start with, the two that I like, one of them that I like first, which is Hail. So Hail Husseini is probably the only men punya style, like celebrity men yang pakaikan baju Rizman Rizaini so elegantly. I love this look on him. There's this like in a good way Michael Jackson type of vibe, with this, what do you call it, cropped blazer, loose kind of like cropped blazer jacket yang highly sequined or crystallized. That looked a lot more like what I've seen in Dubai punya collections. And Hail has sort of branded himself as this powerhouse singer, and dia punya fashion punya choices as well, and dia punya persona in fashion is quite strong. He embodies it very, very well. So I love seeing this on Hail. It's so strong. He has the personality to bring it. This is an amazing RR design on Hail. Like 10 stars. I love it so much. Now, next one is quite interesting because this is Fasha Sanda, who wears the very atypical type of Rizman punya signature dress. If you know Rizman Rizaini punya style, they have this like collar situation. Quite a monastic, scholastic, I don't know what you call it, punya style, and it's heavily beaded, and they have this like cuffed punya detail on it. That is like signature RR style. And with Fasha, she's not exactly known as someone that concerns too much about fashion. Fasha is dia ni memang ada aura dia tersendiri. She's so beautiful, she's so tall. Dia pakai apa pun in a way boleh lawa. And I think here she wanted to take that cocktail-ish punya vibe that ABP really stands for in terms of dressing punya concept really well. I like that she's in this piece, and it complemented her very, very well. And it's an easy wearing dress, but also quite a statement centric dress. So I think it looks great on her. And then pula I nampak this other dress. I think everyone notices it. It's by Rita Rudaini wore a sort of similar dress. I don't know by whom. I tengah korek lama gila to see like, is this by RR as well? This dress, which I don't think so because I haven't seen it being tagged anywhere in the video. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, there's a situation, there's like a Rita Ora / Isa Gonzalez situation here. Both of them attend the award show wearing almost the same thing. Again, I don't think it's intentional. Sometimes these things happen. Wallahu alam, people know, orang belakang tabir will probably know better than me. But based on what I've seen, and I'm not saying that it's bad, Rita looks amazing in that dress, and she won such a amazing award yang dia betul-betul deserve it. So yeah, I guess it's okay. It's just that it's a cardinal sin kan for some people to say that you arrive at the event in the same kind of baju or concept. But it is what it is, benda dah jadi. So Bella Astila in this also RR punya design. I'm not a fan of, actually I like the design of the dress, but I'm not a fan of the colors so much for some reason. Maybe it's the clashing of the colors and the boning of the corset yang crystallized to against it. I feel like it's a bit busy. The color looks great on her. I think she can carry the color off really well, but I was just hoping that it would not have that corset punya bit. Just maybe that yellow punya dress itself on it it's more suitable to her petite frame and her petite style. It's like I have a love-hate relationship with it. I don't know what it is yang mungkin macam Haida rasa that's not there yet. Maybe I don't like that. Yeah, I think it's probably the color. If it's a lighter buttery yellow, it might work. Ataupun if it's just the yellow itself without all the crystallized details and let the accessories speak for itself, maybe it might work better for her. But she looks great in this. I'm not saying that she doesn't look great in this. I mean, she looks fantastic in this dress. Is yeah, I mean I guess that's all I could say. What do you guys think about it anyway? You can let me know in the comments. Okay, enough of all of that. I think for me to break it down to what I think about ABP when it looks so far, I've heard a lot of feedbacks from people who've been DMing me. They say that, I think year after year, people are being tested with what they can say and not say about some of the looks that are being served or not served on the red carpet. One thing yang Haida boleh katakan lah every year yang Haida nampak is that a lot of the makeup and styling are very drag queen centric, okay? Because I think a lot of Malaysian stylists think that for them to be considered edgy, they have to pound more and more and more. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Drag Race. I love drag styling, but drag styling bermaksud there's a personality behind it that will overpower that styling itself. Plus, the makeup that you do for drag ataupun the styling that you do for drag is for a whole different personality altogether, and it doesn't really reflect a woman-esque punya style of dressing. So this is being reflected so much lah. Sometimes tambah pula dengan baju yang nampak macam it's not really well made ke, well sewn ke. It feels, it cheapens the whole prestige of the event. And I think that there needs to be a study of refinement sedikit on how you should dress the host ke or stylist ke apa ke semua, just to make sure that that there is a decorum of modesty at some point being observed during these event shows. And I get it, you want to have fun, and there's nothing wrong with having fun. Tapi it's all about learning balance with makeup. Like if your baju is so out there, really mute the makeup sedikit. If the baju tu biasa, then have fun with crazy like makeup and hairstyling or whatever. As a person who is a major maximalist, I believe that more is more. Tetapi when it comes to fashion, more needs to have some type of like a balance punya cap to make sure that you portray yourself the best as the celebrity or the person that you intended to showcase lah sebagai seorang public figura kan. It is our job as creatives, as entertainers, to help educate the public punya awareness about what it means to be artistic, what it means to appreciate the finer things in life. So I know you shouldn't take arts too seriously, but people don't take it seriously anyway, which brought us to how we are treating creatives, with how some of these celebrities yang mungkin menindas the glam team untuk work on certain type of budgeting ke apa semua. And of course netizen pun akan fikir, oh inilah fashion. So Haida punya appearance kat sini is to, again, like I mentioned before, to open up this conversation. It's just a case study on what we can do better. Even for me, when Haida look back on what I've done before, pun Haida macam cringe juga. That does not mean that I've done nothing wrong. It's just a commentary. If people think that this is something that they can learn from, alhamdulillah. If not, tutup mata sajalah, move on. Right? Like, come on, who cares? The world is ending anyway. And it's great to see more young designers also taking part in dressing. Of course, ada benda yang boleh diperbetulkan, but you should never ever feel that you dah bagus sangat. Okay, I think even for me, kena turunkan juga your level of ego tu, because for you to be a better designer, for me to be a better person, you have to take what's good and just improve on becoming the better version of yourself. And I tak boleh nak focus a lot on a lot of other people mungkin attend this because tak cukup informasi. But thank you, and if you guys have any comments, just leave it there. I hope you guys are happy, healthy and safe, and majulah industry fashion untuk negara. Bye.